Hi, I'm Robert Wabi, and I'm from Team 7. For our project, we decided to do student alcohol consumption. Our data set includes data from two separate high schools and their Portuguese classes and their students' rates of drinking. We chose this data set to show our users how much alcohol the students are consuming on both weekends and weekdays, and where the drinking is at a maximum and where it's at a minimum. So getting started, we'll start in our main script. You'll see we have a lot of commentary on what will be displayed throughout the code. These are all our functions and just brief descriptions. Next we have a lot of fprintf functions that are going to state what our project is about and that the scale that we're going to be working with is 1 to 5, 1 being the least amount of drinking or none, and 5 being a very heavy amount of drinking. Okay, so let's load in our data to begin. Okay, so you're going to be prompted to press the Enter key, which will bring up this menu. And this menu was brought up using a while loop. First, we initialized our options variable to be 0, and as long as it is less than 6, it'll give off any of our functions that we have loaded here. In the command window, a little description of each function will pop up so you have a little background before selecting whichever one you'd like to go to. So we're going to go to grades and alcohol consumption. Okay, this is going to pop up a bar graph that shows you from really a scale 1 to 5, but these are average rates, so they'd only average from 0 to 3. And the blue will indicate weekday drinking, while the weekend drinking will be indicated by the red, which you can see is much higher in lower grades. Here's the code for that. First, we initialized everything, all of our variables, to 0. And we also have a matrix that we initialized over here. That'll be a size AB. I'm sorry, it'll be size RC. And then we put our data through a for loop. And so I is going to serve as our counter. So whenever the grade, this is going to determine where each student falls in the bar graph according to their grade. So if the grade is greater than 16, greater than or equal to 16, it's going to equal an A. If it's less than that but higher than 11, it's going to be a B, and so on. They didn't give any letter grades, unfortunately, so we had to create our own little scale. After we did that, we took the averages between, we had to split each of the variables into weekday drinkers and weekend drinkers. So these DD, that's the day drinker, the weekday drinkers, and the WD would be the weekend drinkers. So we found their averages for each one. We divided the sums of them and whatever their counter number was. We then added a categorical, because that would be the only way that we could put the A, B, and C, D, and F on our x-axis. Then created a variable for averages to graph into our bar graph. And we created the bar graph, and then we labeled everything accordingly. Okay, so after we're done looking through all this, you can just X out of here. We just go to the command window, press enter again, and it'll pop back up our menu. So next we'll go to alcohol consumption and family size. So down here in the command window, it's going to tell us that pie charts are going to be displayed in full screen. And it's going to give you a little bit of information here on what each pie chart does. And to pull up each of these pie charts, we're going to have to go into our command window and click enter again. And here we'll see all the pie charts labeled. So for the code, we have the function family size, and here we have comments describing what the function is going to do. So we have a matrix M of size X, or actually a vector M of size XY. Oh. And here are all our initialized variables. These are going to be for a family size greater than 3, anything that has the G3 after it, and these are going to be for a family size less than 3 with the L3 afterwards. This is going to be a matrix of size M and rows R and C. So we put our data through a for loop with a switch case nested in there. And this case is for anything greater than a family size of 3. So here we would take the numbers and we would add them. We would add 1 to get our total number of families, or students rather, with families greater than 3. Here we would take them and add to our number of students that have a family size less than 3. Here we have the fprintf statements for all of what you see down here in the command window. And there's a little pause here so that we can have the chance to read. Next, we have our pie charts. To have each of the charts plotted in one figure, we have it set to use the subplot function to get each of the 4 pie charts on the same window as you see here. We have it set to a certain position, and we use the screen size to get it to blow up onto a full size page. We did this for all of them, and we plotted, these are the less than 3, heavy drinkers and moderate drinkers, and these are the heavy drinkers that are less than 3. We have them set to weekday drinking and weekend drinking, and the greater than 3 family size, heavy drinkers and moderate drinkers. So, yeah, that would be our code, and I hope you enjoyed our little video. Thank you.